Hey, it's Daryl Crook here again with Fishing for Inspiration. I started out this series of talks saying that I was going to tie together intelligent design with the resurrection of Jesus, and that's what I want to do today. So we see evidence of intelligent design in three different areas. From Big Bang cosmology, we see the beginning of space-time and matter. So we see the need for a cause outside of space-time and matter. From physics, we see an extremely finely tuned universe. So finely tuned that it's extremely improbable without a fine tuner, a designer. And then from biology, we see complex information, the kind of information that can only come from an intelligent source. So we see evidence for an intelligent designer that is outside of space-time and matter. Now, how does this affect the resurrection? First of all, let's take a quick look at the resurrection. The resurrection is the most pivotal event for Christianity. The Apostle Paul even said, "If Christ has not been raised, your faith is futile. We are of all people most to be pitied." Michael Licona is a New Testament scholar who specializes in the resurrection. And Michael boils the resurrection down to three facts. The reason he uses these three facts is because these three facts are not disputed even by skeptical scholars who study in this area. So the first fact is that Jesus' disciples taught that he was raised from the dead very early. So it was not a legend that developed over time. The second fact is that Jesus' disciples taught that he appeared to both individuals and groups and both friends and foe. So they were not hallucinations, because hallucinations are individual events. They don't happen to groups of people, and they don't happen to individuals they don't happen where individuals have the same hallucination. And he appeared to both friends and foes. So he appeared to people who were not believers before the resurrection, people who were not grieving his loss and hoping to see him. The third fact is that Jesus' disciples were willing to suffer and endure martyrdom for their preaching. So they were not liars, because liars make very poor martyrs. Not only did they not have a motive to lie, but they are under extreme pressure to change their stories. Instead, the first century church grew very quickly, despite intense persecution. Christianity is an evidential faith. It's based on evidence. On one hand, from science, we see evidence of an intelligent designer that's outside of space-time and matter. On the other hand, we see historical evidence for the resurrection that is not disputed even by skeptical scholars who study in this area. Now let me see if I can draw the two together. In doing that, let me borrow an analogy from Professor John Lennox, who said he borrowed it from C.S. Lewis. So I feel like I'm in pretty good company. One day I put $100 into my nightstand. The second day I put another $100 into my nightstand. The third day I check my nightstand and I find $50. Now, have the laws of arithmetic been broken? No. Actually, it's because I know that the laws of arithmetic have not been broken that I know that some force, someone, some thief in this case, has acted on that money. Someone stole some of that money. Someone from outside of the drawer. Now, if God is an intelligent designer that is outside of space-time and matter, he could have easily raised Jesus from the dead without breaking any of the laws of nature. Because I know, just like everybody else knows, that dead critters stay dead, except for the intervention of God. The resurrection of Jesus is highly improbable without the existence and the intervention of God. Hopefully that gives you something to think about. Again, my name is Daryl Crook with Fishing for Inspiration. You can find me on Facebook on my personal page, and then also my Fishing for Inspiration page. That's Fishing, the number 4, Inspiration. And I've got some videos like this on YouTube. It's just my name, Daryl Crook. Just make sure you spell it right if you're looking for me. Again, I hope this gives you something to think about, and have a good day.